Good morning. My name is Natalie Turvey and I am Director and Principal Psychologist at Drop of Life Psychology Clinic and the author of Unbreakable Relationships for Self-Lovers and Others. And today is my vlog number 21 of my blog challenge. And today I'm going to be discussing what is a belief system and why is it so hard to change. And before I get started, the reason why I'm doing I've got a couple planned for the next couple of days, all around belief systems. Hi, Kylene. Is because I've got a meetup group on Wednesday and I'm the speaker. And so it's going to be all about belief systems and how we can shift them and change them and actually acknowledge them. So today is what is a belief system and why is it so hard to change. It's going to be a quick one because I've actually got a client coming in shortly. So what a belief system is, it's basically our brain's way of making sense of a very complex world. So we use belief systems to represent what we should and shouldn't do and how we should and shouldn't behave, and it helps us relate to the world. It's typically set up quite early on. So we initially start getting our belief systems anywhere between, they get set up from 0 to 7 roughly, or 0 around that period of time. That's where we get our belief systems initially formed from our parents, and then of course we build on them as we're going along. But those core ones are set up nice and early for us. So because our brain is an energy saving machine, it helps us try to make sense of the world in the quickest and most efficient way possible. So it does things like it takes shortcuts, and this can be tough if you've got some really faulty belief systems and you never challenge them or you never really understand what they are, because you will be reinforcing faulty belief systems over and over and over again. So what it does is it takes these shortcuts and it categorizes and clump things together, and that helps us make it make sense, but it makes it make it very efficient for us to quickly take in information, store it, spit it out, and then relate to certain things. So it evaluates situations that we're in and it makes conclusions. This is our brain I'm talking about. So an example would be if B came before A, then it's fair to assume that A is the cause of whatever it is that's going on, and that's how our brain would make that shortcut. It will do things like I was mentioning between the ages of 0 to 7. We will have these preferences, belief systems that are already set up, and that's from our youth and from our parents and from the cultures we live in and from the friends we hang around. So it will have these preferences of one belief over another. And as a result of those preferences, our brain will see what it wants to see. So we will, often you will see optical illusions and things like that. That's basically, our brain won't see things that it needs to see because of those belief systems that we've got set up. Something I use all the time in clinic is I ask people to tell me about how many pregnant women they've seen over the past week. Most people will say, I saw 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4. And then I'll ask them, I say, if I paid you $1,000 for every pregnant woman you see, I guarantee you would come back and you would see more. And they would go out and they would check that out for me. And it's true, they normally come back and say, I saw about 15 or 20. Not because those pregnant women weren't there before, it's because they weren't looking for it. And that's basically the way belief systems work. We will seek information out in our environment to reinforce what we already believe. So it's basically a trade-off, efficiency over accuracy. And that's why it's really important to really establish and start to understand those core beliefs, which are the fundamental ones, and the other ones tend to fall away after we've established and tackled those core beliefs, and figure out if they're faulty or if they're actually working for us. So we will go back to that default framework that I was talking about. That's one of the very first things that we will do if we're not challenging it. And we will also defend our belief systems even in the face of distortions and even in the face of clear and obvious misguided facts, because it's actually easier to defend our belief system than it is to restructure it or to create a new one. So once again, our brain will go back to efficiency over accuracy. So once again, I've got a meetup group on Wednesday, and I'll be talking just about all things belief systems, and I'll be giving you some tools and some handouts and some exercises to be able to understand and start to recognize some of your faulty belief systems. So hopefully you can join me, but until tomorrow, remember today and tomorrow to be kinder to yourself than anyone else can be. I'll see you tomorrow.